When we say we care about our members. Our members are our most important asset. Without our members, we don't have a business. Let me put it, there's an old cooperative saying that the cooperative takes care of you from cradle to grave. So we would like to be known as taking care of our members from the cradle to the grave. My name is PeterPhillip. I've been, officer of every credit union since around 2002. Board director in and out, but for the last probably 9 years has been continuous. A credit union basically is a financial cooperative. We have different types of cooperative. You have consumer corps, you have agricultural corps, you name it, there is a cooperative. The history of financial cooperatives basically, financial cooperative came into being 19th century when what you would want to say the underserved, we usually call the underserved, they couldn't get loans in banks and other recognized financial institutions at that time. So these financial corps, because what existed was, like I said, consumer corps and this sort of thing. So a number of people got together and pooled their resources and created the financial corps who would lend out what we usually refer to as the underserved people who couldn't get loans in banks and this sort of thing. So they were formed basically to support the underserved. Credit unions we have and banks, right? In a bank, you are just a customer. A bank may have probably 5 shareholders, whereas within a credit union, every member of the credit union is an owner of the credit union. You have a democratic right in the decision making whereas in a bank, I may be a customer, a member of the bank, but I have no say in the direction of the bank may take, no say in the decision making of the board, as the case may be. But within a financial corp, credit union, we have a structure AGM, board, management. So the AGM, which comprises of every member of the credit union, is the highest decision-making forum in a credit union. They basically elect a board to manage their affairs during the year. And once a year they come together, the board reports to them and they tell the board, X, Y, or Z, as the case may be. We at Community Care offer a number of services, products and services. One of the loans that I really like and I try to encourage members is one we call, for the older set we'll call it an estate builder. For the newer set they'll say the 2-in-1 loan. And that basically is a loan that, say for instance, you come to borrow, we encourage you. Now, if you borrow intelligently, you can build wealth. So we encourage you to come in, take this estate builder loan. Probably you need a 5,000 to do some, and the other 10,000, put it on your shares. So because, be realistic, how long it will take you to save $10,000? But during that period of time, you have this loan, you are paid back, let's say basically in a $15,000. But the good thing is with a credit union versus the bank, every cent that the credit union makes during the year, once we fulfill our obligation to those statutory funds or allocation, any, let's say, monies that remain is then paid to the member as dividend. So I like to see it as this way. I take a loan from the credit union and I'm paying back my loan. The interest that I'm paying back generates income for the credit union at the ending of the year. If the credit union does well, I receive a portion of that, a portion of the interest that I have paid. In my early years as a credit union, something was said to me, and that basically changed my thinking, because it is what they call something that they call a net worth. And I thought, I was good. Everything was okay with me. And when we did that net worth calculations, I realized instead of thinking, I believed at the time I was deep in debt based on everything that was there. And now when I asked, one of the first things was told to me is to develop a budget. Everything that you spend, everything that you receive, record it. If you should even buy a dinner mint, write it down. And after a while, you'll get a true picture of how your finances are. If you need to cut. You have to take some serious decisions. And after a while, I'm not telling you it's going to happen overnight. Most of the time, it takes about 7 years. I know because I went through it. It takes about 7 years before you can really get this thing and you start to see an upward movement. Become a member, become actively involved in your credit union, because what we're about is really creating wealth for our members. The banks are not that. The banks is just to make as much wealth as for the 5 or 6 persons that are. But credit unions basically is about creating wealth and developing our members so that they would have a stable, financially satisfying life. And as I think I want to encourage especially all the members of community care to get more involved in the credit union. Because the credit union cannot exist without its members. The board of directors, the officers come from within the membership. And there are many things that the credit union offer that that the members, unless you are involved, you would know. But once you're a member of credit union, do business with the credit union, the management, the staff, even the directors become acquainted with you and you become acquainted with them. And so credit union, all of this is credit union. Nothing from the banks. Not 1 cent from the bank. Everything is credit union. Everything that you see here is credit union.